All right, there's also this. Today, the Trump administration will defend its migrant deportation flights in a federal appeals court just hours after another flight carrying migrant gang members touched down in Venezuela, which is huge news as well. Venezuela once again accepting our deportation flights.
Madeleine Rivera live in Washington with the details. Hey, Maddie.
Good morning, Carly and Todd. The Trump administration maintains it's on solid legal ground as its use of the Alien Enemies Act is litigated in court. This hearing in an appeals court today comes after federal judge James Boasberg expressed skepticism on Friday of the Trump administration's invocation of the wartime statute. The president argues he can exercise the authority because Tren de Aragua is threatening an invasion. Boasberg called the policy ramifications incredibly troublesome and problematic and concerning. He's promising to investigate whether the administration defied his order to turn deportation flights to El Salvador back around. But Border Czar Tom Homan says the administration never defied the court's order. Listen here.
No, I don't care what that judges think. As far as this case, we're going to continue to arrest public safety threats and national security threats. We're going to continue to deport them from the United States.
We are saying that TDA is acting as a proxy of the Maduro regime. This is how the Alien and Sedition Act applies, and we cannot have district judges interfering with the commander-in-chief's actions to take care of, in the way he deems necessary, a terrorist organization.
After a standoff, Venezuela, like you guys said, is now agreeing to accept deportation flights from the U.S., the first one landing at Venezuela Sunday with 199 illegal aliens, including gang members. And Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is planning to visit Central America this week. Her visit will be kicking off on Wednesday with a tour of El Salvador's terrorism confinement center, where hundreds of migrant criminals were deported last week. A DHS spokesperson, Tricia McLaughlin, telling Fox News Digital that Noem and the president are sending a clear message for criminal aliens considering entering America illegally. Don't even think about it. After Noem's prison visit, she's also planning on meeting with El Salvador's president. Carly and Todd.
Madeleine Rivera live for us in Washington. Maddie, thank you.
You got it.
Let's bring in Terrell County, Texas Sheriff and retired Border Patrol Agent Thaddeus Cleveland. Sheriff Cleveland, good morning to you. So obviously there has been a lot of back and forth regarding this migrant flight to El Salvador. And the question from people who don't think it should happen is, how does the Trump administration know that everybody on board this flight is a gang member? Well, Tom Homan provided some clarity on that yesterday. Listen to this.
Look, there's various methods. No, I've noticed in the media this week, a lot of them don't have criminal histories. Well, a lot of gang members don't have criminal histories. Just like a lot of terrorists in this world, they're not in any terrorist database, right? We only know the information what's in databases based on, for instance, most terrorists we arrest that are identified by the U.S. government are later identified through a Title III investigation or through an undercover operation. They're not in any terrorist screening database. We know that.
Homan would go on to say we have to count on sworn statements from other gang members, wiretaps, monitoring social media. Anything involved in a criminal investigation comes into play. So a lot of people are focusing on the people on those flights saying we're not in a gang. But Tom Homan is saying I trust my field agents who say yes, they are.
Hey, good morning, Carly. Great to be on with you. You know, and I have said the same thing. Look, whether it's ICE agents or Customs and Border Protection, Border Patrol agents or Office of Field Operations, when they conduct interviews, when they're doing parts of their investigation to find out who these people are, just through discussions and through interview techniques, I'm quite sure that they also have done proper justice. Look, we swear and we take an oath when we put on the badge, and we're going to stand by that oath. And if we've determined someone's here illegally and is a criminal and a gang member, then those that are trying to legislate from the bench, they should accept those sworn testimonies and our duties.
All right. Well, also on this front, it looks like there's some military might headed your way, because on Saturday, the Navy announced that it's sending a second guided missile destroyer to the West Coast to accompany a ship off the Gulf of America. Sean Parnell, who's the Pentagon chief spokesman, says it's not only vital for the United States to have control of our border via land, it's equally important to control our territorial waters. And this deployment directly supports U.S. Northern Command's mission to protect our sovereignty. This is being described as an unprecedented concentration of naval assets for our southern border operations. And it seems like as criminal organizations are getting used to land border security measures. Maritime routes are becoming more attractive for gang members. So this is aiming to end that really before it even begins.
No, Carly, you're exactly right. And back in 2019, 2020, I was actually Border Patrol's representative or advisor to U.S. Army North, who worked directly for NORTHCOM. And look, these boats are key, because, or these ships, because they're patrolling our littorals down in the Gulf of Mexico and then out off the coast of San Diego and California. And once again, they're showing the what you've heard Border Patrol agents and others who've interviewed, the whole of government approach. In my almost 30 years of working in law enforcement on the border, and of course being a lifelong resident of the border, we've never seen a quite approach like this, where everybody's working to make sure our southern border's safe and secure. I must say, President Trump has done his job. It's time for Congress to do theirs, pass those laws and legislation to give more funding to the border. And if we want to start looking, our apprehensions are so low. If we want to make some serious immigration law changes, we don't need them. Again, people will say the immigration system broke. It's not the immigration system, it's Washington, D.C. But now we can really put some focus and effort in some of that and make some true changes.
Yeah, and this is why border crossings are down by over 90%, and the Trump administration hopes to keep it that way. Sheriff Cleveland, thank you so much for joining us this morning, waking up early. We appreciate you as always.
Thank you, Carly. God bless you.
God bless you, too.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.